Hi, I'm Ad Professor Tom, and I talk about sales, advertising, leadership, and the truth. Over the next few weeks, I want to talk to you about a particular subject that I haven't seen a whole lot of training on. In fact, I can't recollect any time that there's been any formal training for me in this particular area, but all AEs need it, and that's in the area of cancellations. I once sat in a room full of high-priced talent in account executive world of advertising, and I asked the question of a panel of senior level AEs, how do you deal with cancellations? And the resounding answer was, it's just something you have to deal with. And as I spent the next few months trying to figure out what that really means, I realized that's not the right hypothesis, that there's a better answer. And over the years, I've developed 5 simple rules that I'm going to take the next few weeks to talk with you about how you can deal with cancellations in a more impactful way and prevent them even from happening in many cases. The first rule has to do with timing. You never talk about what to do with a cancellation with a client when they're canceling. Rule number 1 is to always talk about the cancellation before you even make the sale. It's easy to do in a company like ours where we have a finance team that provides us with terms and conditions that provides the baseline. But for most of us, the standard ought to be much higher than what our finance team asks us to do. We ought to hold the line on various things, and it starts by telling them up front what the expectations are on their commitment. If clients want to cancel their advertising with you, make sure that they know ahead of time what the ramifications are of doing such a thing. It might be a change of rates, it might be a particular loss of a high-profile opportunity. There's a million different things that could happen. But whatever those rules are, state them up front, and I would re-educate them after the sale. It's always easier to do it when times are good, when a client is on a high from buying from you, or feels good about making closing decisions with you. And the reason why is because anytime you have to have a difficult conversation, or even mention difficult things, you can do it better when it's easy to go back to the positive things or the more fun things that the client prefers to talk with you about. It's the same principle, I believe, that applies when we have aging parents and we want to talk to them about a last will and testament or a living will. You want to do that when they're healthy, not when they're sick. And the reason why is because it's so much easier to take the pressure off of what to do in a panicky situation when no one has to really think about it. We can think clearly, and so can the client when you tell them, rule number 1, always educate before cancellations come in.